Hey, what's up everybody? This is Chicken Possible with Rewards Hunter, back with part 6 of our Contrast series, where we work through grabbing all of the achievements in this game and a bunch of Microsoft Rewards points along the way. If you haven't watched parts 1 through 5, those will be linked in the description so you can go back and catch up and grab all of the achievements that we've already grabbed inside of this game. And we will go ahead and continue by taking a look at the Microsoft Rewards set for this week. So with the achievements that we earned today, you'll be able to potentially earn the Achieve More, Earn More, maybe as many as 3 times if you want to break it up over 3 separate days. But let's also take a look at the Rewards Weekly set. You'll want to click the first link to find out about the new Sonic Origins game, and then you can press B to get back to the app. The second part is we'll work on earning 3 achievements. We'll be doing that in Contrast, and then we'll need to run some searches on Bing on 3 separate days to finish out this weekly set. So let's go ahead and pick up where we left off in part 5 on Contrast. And we will just do a quick check on the achievement tracker so that you can see how far we have made it so far. So we've got 22 achievements total in the game, and we've got 13 of those collected so far. The very last one that we grabbed was This Circus is a Disaster. So we got that in part 5, and we'll continue on today and grab the next 3 easy achievements for the weekly set. So we'll just want to resume our game from last time, and we're actually going to start out in a slightly different spot than where we finished. We were inside the circus tent, and we're going to have to kind of flip around to get back inside of the circus tent where we were. So you're basically just going to do a 180 here and head right back inside the circus tent, and then you'll see the stage that we were looking at. And what we're going to do is head to the right of the circus stage and jump back here behind these boxes. There are a couple things we need to collect back here. The first one is the first luminary on this level. And then we've got one collectible that's back here, and this is the picture of Johnny's family. So make sure you grab that one, and then we can hop back out over the boxes the same way we came in, and we'll head outside the circus tent out this door that we were just outside of. So we're going to head down this way and take a left. And we're going to shift into shadow mode right here and jump on top of these moving rock shadows. And wait for this big shadow to really thin out so that you can do a jump dash and get through it and get across to the other side so that we can go over and collect this luminary. So we've got a lot of luminaries on this level. We've got 15 total of them to collect. I believe we get through 11 of them in our 3 achievements today. And this is definitely going to be our trickiest session in Contrast so far. I will warn you, this probably took me half an hour, maybe 40 minutes or so, possibly, to finish everything. I had a lot of deaths, so you're going to see a lot of cuts during this. I apologize for that. I'm just trying to make the video as short and succinct as possible. So head back down here to the strength test, and you'll see that the man hits it with the hammer, and this is a little bit tricky. This is the first of our tricky jumps. On every 3rd hit, he'll hit it to its highest point where it actually hits the bell, and you want to make sure that you're jumping as it's coming up. If you don't jump while it's coming up, you'll get sort of a half jump like that. So you want to make sure that you hit it as it's going up before it actually hits the bell so that you get this sort of maximum boost off of the jump. So it should jump like that, but you have to make sure you hit it on the 3rd one. So there we go. You can see the kind of boost that you're looking for there, and then you can shift out of shadow mode and collect that 3rd luminary there. So we can jump down now, and we're finished in this area here. We're going to head down the boardwalk a little bit, and coming up ahead, you'll see a film reel that does a shadow playback. And this is actually the playback of when Johnny was getting beaten up earlier in the game in the theater. So I'm actually going to slow this down quite a bit right here so that you can see that I'm moving over and jumping on the shadow's head there to get up to the luminary. So that's number 4. It might take you a couple of attempts on that one. Just keep starting it back up and trying again. Move over to the left side as fast as you can. All right, now we're going to move into the first of 3 attractions that we need to repair. So this is the carousel. So we're going to work on fixing that and getting up to the hot air balloon that Dee Dee is pointing out there. And she says that we need to put a couple of luminaries into the carousel to get it started up. But there's actually another luminary that we need to grab first before we do that. So let's just head around to the right, back behind where she's standing. And we'll grab this next luminary before we get started on the carousel. So that's number 5. So now we can head over to Dee Dee and put in the 2 luminaries that she needs by pressing X. That'll start the carousel up.
I think you're gonna need to get that beacon working.
And I'm going to be skipping some of the cutscenes in this just by pressing Y. So we'll shift into shadow mode here and try to jump from horse to horse over to the right, and jump when they're kind of on the way up, when they're higher, so that your jumps are easier. And this jump is slightly tricky right here. You have to jump and then shift into shadow mode before you hit the sign over there. Then we'll keep jumping to the right on the horsebacks. And then Dee Dee will help us out by making a shadow right here. So we use that to get to the next luminary. That'll be number 6. So we'll shift out, grab the luminary. Actually, that's number 7. Sorry, I lost count there. And we're going to press X to interact with the top of the carousel. I believe she calls that a beacon on top of the carousel. So we can do a jump dash here to get across to the star area. And this part is actually pretty tricky. Chances are you're probably going to fall through here because there are just so many moving pieces. But remember that you can get through any of those little stick shadows by dashing through them. But if you do fall down, then there is a ramp shadow that's down here that kind of helps you get back up to where you were. So just kind of wait for a dull moment here, and I actually got pushed to where I was hanging onto the ledge, so then I just jumped up from the ledge. And I ended up riding on the back of this star with the trail on the back of it. And then you'll have to dash through any of those lines that get in your way. So once you've made it up here, you can jump and hang from this ledge and then press A to pull yourself up. We'll grab luminary number 8. And continue on shifting into the shadows and running across. You'll need to do a dash there to get past that line and that star. And then we can jump across here to the next ledge. Shift back into shadow mode, and we'll work our way across here to the next ledge. And luckily the game is pretty good about saving your checkpoint if you do fall. So you can get back up pretty easily from where you left off if you do fall. Press X here to collect your first achievement. This is for picking up the bottle that's right here. It's called the Cyclops Bottle for some reason. And once we've got that, we've got another luminary that is close by. So we'll just turn to the left here. And before you go up that little stairwell that's right there, make sure you grab this luminary on this ledge. So that's number 9. Now we can head up the stairwell, and we will let the balloon go free. So we'll actually ride down in the balloon, and then you can jump out of the basket here. So we've successfully repaired that attraction, as you may have seen there. So we're going to go work on the second attraction now, which will be the sort of puppet shadow theater. That is right over in this direction. So just head inside of here. This is close to where the film reel shadow was, if you're having trouble finding it. So this has a lot of tiny cutscenes in it. I'm going to be skipping over those whenever I can, just to save a little bit of time. And like I said, I had a lot of deaths in this, so this part is kind of tricky. I cut out most of the deaths here, but I will show you how to get through the shadow obstacles. So we're going to go back here, shift in, And then Johnny says that the shadow is supposed to be wearing a princess hat. So go over here and grab the princess hat by pressing X and then shift back into shadow mode. So he starts to tell a little story about the princess and her beloved knight Fred, who she is going to marry, but Fred keeps getting into trouble with different monsters. So we actually end up having to rescue Fred instead of Fred rescuing us.
And he marched off the next morning, singing a brave song as loudly as he could. After the princess tracked Fred's footprints,
So keep skipping all of the little cutscenes where you can. And if you do fall or die, this is kind of what it looks like. I just wanted to leave one of these deaths in so you could see it. And then you'll basically just be able to pick back up where you left off, shift back into shadow mode, and try that section again. So here we go. We want to jump onto the second tree stump and jump across. Don't fall onto any of the bamboo spikes that he mentions. And we'll jump up above this tree here. Jump across the gap. And then we're going to go past the windmill and then kind of backtrack and jump onto the windmill blade to ride up over the tree. All right, and we've got our second achievement coming up here. You need to do this on your first try successfully. So make sure you jump across and land on each one of the crocodile's heads and jump over the side. If you do die during that, you won't get the achievement. So what you'll want to do is press start and resume from your last save and then try that again, because you need to do it without having any deaths. So you would just hit start, go to restart from last save if you need to, and just try it again. Now when you get to the magic mushrooms, this is actually really tricky as well. This took me quite a few times, but basically just wait 2 seconds or so after each one, and then you'll be able to sort of fling yourself up and over. But this one took me quite a few tries, so just pause the video if you need to. And this is what the successful attempt looks like. So you can see how I'm kind of jumping at the same time that the branch is coming up. So once you're past that section, well done. That was a very tricky jump in my opinion. Now we're going to start fighting with this giant over here. And this is slightly tricky. What you need to do is jump onto the stump and then jump to the left so that he gets his club stuck in the stump. Move over to his right side. And then you want to jump and get on top of the club and then get onto his back and then quickly move over to the left past the stump so that the tree falls on him. And then Fred will be free from this first of 3 disasters and first of 3 monsters.
Fred, fortunately, the king told him about a giant spider that he could slay in order to...
And we'll be able to move on to the second part of this. This has 3 different sections in it.
After several...
All right, so we're starting the second section. This one has some boulders and some spiders and geysers and different things in it. So just follow this path.
Until it sounded like someone was following her. Soon she came to a vast pit filled with vicious dead.
So now we're going to need to get an umbrella, which Johnny and Dee Dee will talk about for a minute. But then we're going to use our umbrella to kind of coast down. We're going to kind of float down over all of the spikes and get down into the lower area where the spider is.
What?
Like that nanny in that movie?
This is the Middle Ages, honey. Where would she get an umbrella?
I don't know, but that's what she used.
I don't think I have an umbrella.
Well, you better find one, because she used an umbrella.
Where am I supposed to get an umbrella?
So we'll shift out of shadow mode here and go grab the umbrella. Press X to pick that up. And then go back to the shadow and shift back in, and you'll be able to continue with the umbrella. So you just want to walk off here, and you float down fairly slowly. Move over to the right. Go left a little bit just there. Right a little bit. Go further over to the right, and then we're going to kind of float down into the lower left area. And right here you will get stuck on the spider's web on purpose, and you want to jump a few times to get out of these spider webs. So whenever you get stuck, just kind of tap A a few times, and you'll be able to get out of it. You want to keep running to the right here, and then take a left under this little hook, and then the boulder will fall past you. Be able to jump on top of the boulder and proceed to the right, and this boulder is actually the spider, so start running to the right, and just do your best to successfully run past the spider and not get stuck in any of the spider webs. I almost got grabbed right there, but I was able to recover and continue on. So now we're going to start jumping back and forth to the left and to the right, left, right, and keep going up. And then we want to get up to the left spider web and get ourselves stuck in this. I had a couple of difficult moments trying to get into that. And once you get into it, then you can jump a couple times and wiggle it free. We're trying to free this boulder that's stuck in the spider webs. And once you do, move over to the left side quickly so that all of the other little boulders on the right side can fall down and open the path for you on the right side. So once the dust settles on that, we'll move over to the right. And Fred is actually in that spider web right there. So we have successfully escaped the spider and the second section of the shadow performance. So we've got one more section coming up, and then we will be done with this. I really think the first section is the most difficult of that because of those mushroom jumps, but we'll move on to part 3, which has a dragon at the end of it. Not super difficult to get past though, luckily. Let's start moving over to the right, and we'll jump across that pit. And this is actually the section that has the geysers in it. Take a left when you see the boulder rolling at you, and quickly run back over to the left so that the boulder falls into that pit. And you'll see the geysers start to blast right here. So we're going to run up to the right. And stand on this geyser here, and then you'll be able to jump across to the next area. Run past the first geyser, stand on the second geyser, and just wait for the rock to roll past you here, and then you can proceed through. So we made it to the lair of the dragon. Move over to the right, and then just go to the left, and the dragon will burn down one of the ropes that is holding Fred up to the ceiling. And do the same thing just 2 more times, and then all of the 3 rope pieces will be burned up, and Fred will be able to go free.
Finally, burning away the ropes that were tying up Fred. And there is another version of the story where the princess flew off on the dragon's back to have a life full of adventures, but that's for another day.
So at this point, we have successfully finished helping with the second attraction. So it is repaired at this point, and we need to repair the third attraction. We're actually not going to repair that one because our third achievement is just at the very beginning, or I'll say halfway through repairing that attraction. So we won't get it completely repaired today. We'll do that next time. But we do need to head on over to that attraction, which is the Tortuga's Revenge attraction right here. It's the big pirate ship. So let's head inside of here, and we can skip the cutscene with Dee Dee. We're going to be moving some boxes around in this area. But first we'll want to grab this collectible right next to this post here, so press X to grab that. And now we'll go down and grab our first box, which is down here. And these boxes are special. You can actually take them into the shadow realm with you. So you're just going to go back up here, and then shift into shadow mode there. We'll press X to drop the box right here, jump on top of it, jump, and you want to shift out of shadow mode so that you can hang from the ledge, pull yourself up. Press X to press this button, and that will bring up the walkway so that Dee Dee can get up here.
Captain on the deck. Avast there, first mate. Anchors away. Let's heave ho and hoist the
So let's follow Dee Dee to the next section. There's going to be a locked door up ahead, and we're going to have to move some boxes around in order to get ourselves through that door.
Aw, it's closed. Can you open it?
The first box that we want to grab is actually the one that we moved a little while ago. So go back down to where you left that and pick that one up with X. And we're going to carry it up the walkway that we loaded up for Dee Dee. So move over to this little gear area and press X to drop the box there. It doesn't look like it's going to land perfectly on the gears, but it does, so that works out fine. We're going to pick up this next box and go back here. There is a little control room back here with a ship's wheel. Shift into shadow mode and walk through the glass like we have in the past. Shift out, and then we'll drop this box by pressing X. Now let's interact with the ship's wheel, and we're just going to press down on the left thumbstick and sort of wind up the ship's wheel. And when you can't wind it anymore, then just press X to let go of it, and it'll start to slowly go back to the position that it was originally in. So we'll shift into shadow mode and back out to get through the glass, and you can see that the ship's wheel shadow is now moving. So we're going to shift in, jump to the left area here, and then jump back on the sort of arm of the ship's wheel and jump up to the left. There's a luminary over here. You'll probably want to do a jump dash to get this one. So that's number 10. And you could ride the ship's wheel back up, but I decided to jump off of the railing here and get back over to the top. And here's our third box that we need right here. And if you go right up to the edge, you can actually shift into shadow mode right there on the edge, and then ride back on one of the ship's wheel arms over to the right side. Then we can shift out, and we can drop our third box that we needed to put on the gears. So those are all of the boxes in that section, and we are very close to our third achievement now, finally. So let's move back through that doorway, the one that was previously locked. Now everything is open. Make sure you grab this 11th luminary right here before you get onto the boat with Dee Dee. So that's 11 out of 15. And we'll press X to join Dee Dee on the boat. We're going to get into the next section where the ride kind of stops. But we're going to basically stop here and not worry about the tentacle that's on the track. We'll worry about that next time. What we're going to do is move over to the right side, and we're going to grab our last achievement here. So there's a treasure chest that's over here. It's a fairly large treasure chest that opens and closes, and you just need to hop inside of it for a few seconds, and then you can hop back out, and you get your third achievement right there. No backpack bird needed. So I believe that's a reference to the Banjo-Kazooie franchise, the Rare game, another classic game. But that's going to do it for Contrast for today. We've got our 3 achievements that we needed, so I'm just heading back to the main menu, and we'll pick up the rest of the luminaries and collectibles and fix that third attraction next time in Part 7. So let's go ahead and switch over to the Microsoft Rewards app. And it should be showing that you've completed 3 achievements now, so you can click on Achievement Hunter to get credit for that. And you can also go over to the Achieve More, Earn More punch card, click on that, and click on Earn Now to grab those 50 points. And then the only other thing for the weekly set is you'll need to run your searches on Bing on 3 separate days to finish that out. So that's going to do it for Contrast Part 6. We'll be back in about 2 weeks with Part 7, and we'll work on grabbing 3 more achievements and a bunch more rewards points in Contrast. So I look forward to seeing you all in that guide. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you found that video helpful, please be sure to click the subscribe button here on YouTube and hit that bell for notifications. You can also find some helpful links in the description of this video if you want to stay connected with us. Stay tuned for more Microsoft Rewards and achievement guides, and I'll see you in the next one.